Good afternoon and assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Clay Pigeon. We're about to head straight on into Heat 1 of the day, and as you can see, I'm starting on the inside of the circuit, which is very beneficial at Clay because everyone goes crazy on the outside, and on the inside, you can just slip past everyone. And as expected, people go crazy on the inside. That allows me just to tuck up the inside. I gain 3 positions, well 2 because this guy gets back past me, but it is practically a perfect start to the race. Can't really want any more than that. You're going to go defensive, or I say we're going to go defensive into this hairpin, because otherwise someone is going to send you and load you and push you really far wide. Again, defensive into this double left-hander. I just want to get through this opening lap. We gained a couple of positions, settle down, get into a rhythm, and then gain a few more places. But we're going to send it up the inside into the final corner, because why not? It's a sprint race, which means every single overtake you have to make happen like that. Nice and quickly, and work your way up through the field. So we gained 3 positions on this opening lap. The driver in front goes a bit wide. Again, that allows me just to slide up the inside into the chicane. And as I said before, it was a perfect start, very good opening lap, and it's been a very good second lap as well. I do outbrake myself a little bit into that hairpin, but now I'm just trying to catch up to this group of drivers up ahead, and the driver with the green suit, Greg Smith, gets pushed a little bit wide, which makes me start licking my lips because, hey, everyone's getting that little bit closer to me. I'd also been racing on the Saturday as well in the Endurance and the SP60, and I'd done a whole weekend, so I was right up to racing speed. I was feeling very, very confident, and I was thinking, I don't care if I'm starting outside of the top 10. I can win this race. And now these 3 are starting to battle, and I'm thinking, okay, let's get involved in this. They're 2 wide, make that 3 wide. What are we gonna do? We're gonna slide up the inside of all 3 of them. Hell yeah. I don't think I've ever overtaken 3 people through a single corner before, but I just did it. So that, I think, come 2024 best overtakes of the season, best Club 100 overtakes of the season, that might be number 1. After that point, I started putting in some really, really consistent laps. You can see it right there. 3, 4, 3, 5, 9. You'll see why. 5, 4, 4, 4. But Bryn Albin in front of me makes a mistake through that chicane, and he had a little look over his shoulder. I had been catching up to him, and now I thought, okay, he's going to be really nervous now because he knows that I've been catching up to him. He's just made a mistake, and all he's going to be thinking is, I made a stupid mistake. Why did I do that? I now need to push a little bit more. So coming out of this final corner, I got a good run. He had a look over his shoulder. He made a head shake, and I knew he's going to go wide into turn number 1. So I brake nice and early. What does he do? He goes wide, and I think, right, this is my chance. Slide up the inside and gain a position, which is why this lap is a 41.598, because I got a little bit compromised through the chicane. It cost me a bit of time. You can see that first sector, I dropped a couple of tenths. But after that, I kept putting in these really quick lap times, really consistent lap times as well. But the top 3 were all kind of working together. They were in slipstream, which made it that little bit more difficult. They're gaining that 1-2 tenths on the straight, and I just didn't have enough gas to be able to catch them. I was able to hold the gap, but unfortunately that was it. And the first heat ends with me in 4th position, which, while it's not in the top 3, while I might be a bit upset that I didn't win it or do a bit better, I think I drove that heat pretty much perfectly. I don't think I could have done anything more. I think you could have put anyone else in that car. No one was catching up to those 3 because they were working together. And that's why you work together in karting, because it's so useful. But here into Heat 2, I'm starting in 4th. Now, the issue with starting in 4th is you're on the outside, and you can get mullered. And I had Ed Bars starting in 5th on my inside, and I just thought, okay, I need to somehow get onto the back of Ed coming out of the first corner. That way, I can try to battle him for the race win. I wasn't expecting to come out ahead, so I brake nice and early. I try to get to the inside, but I can't. So I have to stay on the outside, and now I'm going to brake a bit early, try to feed him, but I get a big push from behind. That almost sends me onto the grass. I keep it on the circuit, but I lose 2 positions. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? I should have been at the back of those 3. But again, I started in 4th. This is what I expected to happen. And I'm thinking, right, I just need to get through the field, make the overtakes happen nice and quickly. So we go straight up the inside into the horseshoe. We're back up into 5th position. But I'm just thinking, right, I should have been on the back of Blue Suit. And then maybe with the top 3 battling, that'd give me an opportunity to catch up to them and fight for the position. But yeah, sadly, Ed Bars is already through to the front, and I'm just thinking, oh, this guy, come on, battle, but he backs out the move, and I'm like, damn it, why didn't you overtake him? But it is what it is. Ed's through, and at this point, I kind of resign myself to thinking I'm not going to beat Ed. Best I can do now is second, get my head down, don't make any extra mistakes. Blue Suit tries to go on the outside of Black Suit, and I know, wait, that means I can go up the inside of Blue Suit. Thank you very much. I'm just taking advantage of the fighting that's happening around me, not holding myself up, just capitalizing on every opportunity as it arrives. I don't get the best of runs through the final corner, which is where I was struggling all weekend, really. Everywhere else was really good. And then turn one, I was usually quite good through here, and everyone goes a little bit wide. That means you can get a better exit and slide up the inside, as I almost break my headphones saying that, because I'm moving my hands around like a nutcase as I record this. Maybe I should have like a little video of like me recording this in the bottom of the screen. You could just see me going crazy, but I'm in a vest right now, so probably not the best attire for it. But a few laps later, I catch up to the other Black Suit driver, and I'm thinking, what do I do? We're going to go up the inside, aren't we? Nicely sent up the inside. However, fair play to this guy. He hangs it round the outside, and that's bold. That's bold. I'll give him that. That's good defending from him. But we get the run out of the final corner. I pull out the slipstream, and I think I get a little push here as well from someone behind me. Do I? I don't know. But I go up the inside, make sure that I hold it tight so that he can't get the switch back, and now we take the chicane. I'm thinking, okay, great. I'm up into second, head down, and we just take second at the end of this race. But then on lap 8, I make a little mistake going into this corner. Not a big mistake, maybe half a tenth, but it cost me on corner exit. And as I go into this left-hander, who should show up but Andy O'Neill. I try to get the switch back, and at this point I thought, okay, I could work with Andy, but I'm not catching up to Ed. I can get second here, so I want to focus on that. I'll try to push him along, make sure we're far enough away from fourth, but I want this second place. I'm not, just going to sit behind. So we'll see what we can do. And then into turn one, Andy misses the apex. That means I get a better run, and I'm able to, well, slide up the inside and reclaim the position. I'm thinking, okay, Andy got past me because I was battling with that other driver that allowed him to close in. I can get my head down now and pull away. But no, Andy goes straight back up my inside into the hairpin. I'm thinking, oh, for God's sake, I should have defended the corner, but I thought I would have been far enough ahead. I wasn't. So, right, heads back down. I've overtaken Andy once. I can overtake him again. Right. Fair play to Andy as well. He was running about 6 kilos over the weight limit, and he was doing a fantastic job. And there you can see that 6 kilos coming into effect. Well, 6 kilos and slipstream. I'm just thinking, right, can I do this again? Can I get the switch back? But you can see this time round, Andy takes it much tighter through the corner. He's wary of the Milky Cereal special. So, again, just going to sit behind, wait for that opportunity to come. We've got 1.5 laps. We don't need to rush things. Just keep on applying the pressure. And I can see Andy's going defensive. He's wary of me. He knows that I could potentially go for sends into corners, and that's compromising him on exit. That's keeping me in play for this fight. And I had to think, do I want to go up the inside into the final corner? I thought, nah. If I need to, save it for the last lap. I don't want to show all of my cards just yet. I get a good run. I'm going to peel to the outside, but I then just can't stay alongside him. And I can't go for the move into turn one, but I get a good run, but he just about covers the inside. I end up having to go onto the grass, and that completely compromises me. Now I'm way too far back to go for a move into the hairpin, so I kind of threw my cards at that move into turn one, and it meant that I had no cards left for the next half of the lap. Andy goes defensive. I tried to do a little bait and switch, but I missed the apex for the horseshoe, and again, it's compromised me. I'm now too far back to have, that almighty send into the final corner, which Andy covers anyway, so I get a really good run, but it's just not enough. I can't get the timing right. I can't pull alongside, and I have to settle for third place. But that being said, a really good fun race, which means that we've now had a fourth and a third in our heats. Not as good as what we had at Ella Park. Actually, it's about the same as Ella Park, where I think I was running on a fourth and a second at this point, but still pretty good. So I know, head down, see what we can do for this final heat, which was the heat of death. Ed Bars, Dan Seeger, Miles Reitman, Andrew McWilliam, sorry, not Andrew McWilliam, Harrison Kirkham, and Sam Lovelace all in one heat. I am on the inside. I just want to follow Ed Bars on the inside, but I get loaded. I end up going wide, and Ed Bars just powers through. And at this point, I was thinking, I should have been behind Ed. I could have been in third or fourth here. I just needed to hold up the brake for a bit longer and anticipate the loading, but I didn't. And now I didn't take advantage of being on the inside properly. I knew it was going to happen, but I just didn't play it right. You can also see the droplets of rain. It was a little bit greasy. There was a little bit of a drizzle, and I was a little bit, all of us, we were a bit nervous about what the track conditions would be like. And really good move from Pike to send it up my inside through the final corner. I get a decent switchback, and I want to try to stay up alongside him. I don't know if I can. No, I can't, so I'm going to have to sit behind. Oh, have a little go. But I can't make it work. Again, just going to cover off the inside. And at this point, I was getting a bit frustrated. I was thinking, okay, I've made a really bad mistake. I haven't capitalized on the opening lap, but let's stay cool. Stay cool, Felipe, baby. Just try to work our way through the field. Dan Seeger goes up the inside of, I think it's Thomas Northcott. And I'm just trying to think, okay, how can I get involved in this? I know they're going to still battle, and I go for something crazy here. I go for a double switchback. I almost take myself out on the driver behind, who was poking his nose up the inside. Thankfully, he backed off. That was probably the daftest thing I did in the race, but I saw that switchback, and I was like, right, I've got to go for it. A few laps later, on lap number 4, Pink Balaclava, who's running with a number 73 helmet. Number 73 number plate, so he's taken my old number, makes a mistake. That allows me to go up the inside through Billy's blind, and I get to take my racing line into turn 1. So I'm up in position. I can see the 4 cars ahead of me, and at this point I was thinking, right, heads down. We're still in this race with half of the race to go. Ed Bars is too far forward, but we could really mount a challenge for second. Unfortunately, though, I just did not have the pace. I was really struggling until these 4 started battling. And with them battling on the penultimate lap of the race, I've finally been able to catch up with them. All of our pace was really, really close to one another. And now this is the group from second down to me in 6th place. Again, I'm seeing them battle, and I'm just thinking, right, I need to take advantage of this. I'm just going to follow Miles through. That means I'm able to get past Sam Lovelace, and I am now up into 5th position, which is better than where I thought I'd finish, which was 6th. So now let's just try to push Miles along a bit. I had a little sniff to see if I could go for the overtake. He goes defensive. I should have slotted in behind him. Instead, I looked to the outside. I got greedy, and that opened up the door for, well, Sam to get back through on me. I was thinking, oh, why have I done that? But I get a good drive. I look to the outside. I make Sam think I'm going to sit behind him, and then I go up the inside. There's a bit of contact between us. At the time, I thought, that was a bit bad of me, so I lift off so I don't take the position on Sam. I then cover the inside because 2 other drivers had now caught up to us as well. And I thought, right, we'll just take this position nice and easy through the final corner, and then I get pushed. And I get pushed wide, and that allows number 73 to get past me. My guy steals my number plate, and then he steals my position with a bump and pass. He's now my public enemy number 1. I can't remember what his name is, but I now hate him. You know, took my number plate and took my position. He did get a penalty, so but I lost 2 positions, so I still lost 1 even after the penalty was applied. So not the greatest of heats, but in fairness, I don't really think I could have done too much more. I should have held the position against Sam Lovelace, I think. So that's easily been my worst heat. And now into the finals, we're starting in P11. On the inside, very critically. It's so important to be on the inside at Clay, but now I know I can't mess up my opportunity of being on the inside like I did in that previous heat. I need to make sure I am glued to the inside. Break that a little bit earlier if I have to. 18 laps. Here we go. Nice and early on the brakes. Make sure we are glued to the inside. And we are going to follow Stefanos Theodoros up the inside as we go through the chicane. Leave a bit of space for Nigel Martin. And I'm sorry, George. It's just an in-joke at this point. I get a little bit pushed going into the hairpin. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, you know, it's not too bad. We're well into the top 10. We've gained a few places on the opening lap. There's been a little bit of shoving behind me, but I braked that a little bit early just to make sure that no one can take advantage of me. And now I'm ready to party. And now these guys are like 5-way battling at the start of lap 2. I'm thinking, okay, where am I going in all of this? Have a look to the inside. Axel Slijepcevic tries to go around the outside. Can I go up the inside of the pair of them? We're going to try. Harrison's getting bullied as well. Now we go wide. We don't run the sausage curve, thankfully. And I think that's Axel on the outside. We're 3 abreast. I get shunted. I go into the back of Jack O'Neill. But then I'm thinking, oh, wait, this is really good, isn't it? Yay! So we've somehow gained about 3 positions. The top 3 have gone, but I'm thinking this is fine, right? If I can follow Jack past Steph, we can work together and catch up to the leaders. And at this, I don't know why I went for a potential move here, just push Jack along. But anyway, I just thought, right, work with Jack. We go through, we catch up to the top 3. I was feeling quick, and I knew what I had to do. And I knew that Steph defends like crazy, particularly against me. We've got like a running thing going on in Club 100, so I knew I had to follow Jack through, because otherwise Steph would defend like crazy. So here I go, following Jack through for the move, but I just tapped the back of Jack O'Neill, and that means Steph is able to stay on my inside into the horseshoe, and I'm like, no, I don't need this. For context, me and Steph are a bit like, we get on really well, but we're like Massa and Hamilton back in 2012. We're just like absolutely nuts battling. So I'm thinking, right, okay, Jack's through. I need to get my head out. I need to get this move done quickly. This is not work together with Steph and stick with Jack. This is get past. I get the run. I'm going to go up the inside. It's deja vu to last year. And this time, once again, we make the move work. Steph has to cut the circuit, but this time I don't let him back through. Then I get pushed into this hairpin, and I think, are you kidding me? Axel goes past, but he waves me through. He realizes that, you know, it was a push to pass. Then I get pushed into the horseshoe, which is why I go really wide. And now Jack O'Neill is gone. And I was furious at this point, because I thought I'd done the move. I'd, you know, done a really good move on Steph very quickly. I could have worked with Jack, but because I got pushed twice, I'm now so far behind him. And I put in such a good stint in this A final. I mean, look at the laps after I got past Steph. 0.5, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, 0.6, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and then this lap is 2.2, and you'll see exactly why, but the consistency was there. And if I was on the back of Jack, I would have had that extra 1/2 a lap from slipstream. Maybe we could have caught to the top 3, but going into this corner, I put a wheel on the white line, and the white line was still a bit damp because there was a drizzle, a downpour in the middle of the day. That made me lose my rear end. I lost half a second as a result, and from there, I just lost all of my confidence. I didn't have the confidence just to keep on pushing and continue putting in those 0.5s. So my pace did drop a little bit, but if you had told me at the start of the weekend, come the final, you're going to be putting in really consistent lap times, you're going to be a tiny bit quicker than Jack O'Neill throughout the A final, I would have said, sounds good. Unfortunately though, Jack O'Neill was in 4th this race, and I came 5th. But to be honest, I'm actually very happy with this, because I think my first heat I drove pretty much perfectly. Second heat I had a really good battle with Andy, and then in this final, after I got past Steph, I genuinely don't think I could have done much more. Maybe if I was a tiny bit quicker, I could have beaten Jack, but I don't think there was anything more available for me. So, you know, if Ella Park was a 10 out of 10 or a 9.5 out of 10, let's say Ella Park was a 9.5 out of 10, this is like a 9.3 out of 10, and I don't think I can be too upset because, you know, I finished in 5th rather than on the podium or winning. I think the drive was good, and I think that's the important thing to look at. So, it's been a really good race day. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll be back for more Club 100 action at Little Rissington. See you guys then.